we present The Voyage of the Swallow by Eric Pringle, a play about Arthur Ransome and the writing of swallows and Amazons, with Richard Briers as Arthur Ransome and Susanna York as Evgenia Petrovna Shelepina. The Voyage of the Swallow.
Ahoy there, Swallow! Ready about?
Aye, sir.
Put the helm down, Mavis! Quickly! Watch your steering!
All in the sheet, Swallow! Jibe up!
Look out!
Duffers, you'll sink the fleet!
Arthur, I despair. You'd think after all our teaching that at least have learned how to avoid each other.
Well, I've been around for 44 years and I haven't learned how to avoid anything. I blunder about like a hippopotamus. Stand by to take in sail! Lower it away!
Aye, aye, sir. Aye, aye, sir.
They'll do, Ernest. All four of them. You should be proud. Good grief, I shall miss you all when you go back to Syria. So will Gania. Coniston won't be the same without you.
It was a good summer. Glad we bought the boats. You remember when you and I learned to sail here? With Dora and Barbara, Roger.
Of course I do. That was the time of my life.
Steady now! Nose them in! Mavis to starboard! That's the last sail. We'll have the dinghies in the boathouse tomorrow. One of them's yours now. Which will you choose?
Swallow, of course.
Grab the yards, Roger. Aye, aye, sir. Steady as she goes, Turkey. Aye, aye, sir.
Yes, I could have placed a bet on Swallow. You've fallen in love with her.
It must be her brown sail that excites me.
She's an estuary boat, remember. You could sail her
To the ends of the earth. To Rio. The North Pole. Over all the oceans. To exotic lands and desert islands.
But not that far.
In my head.
Oh, in there.
Oh, I'm sorry, Daddy. Sorry, Uncle Arthur.
I should absolutely jolly well think you are, Titty Eltunian. You were dreaming again. By thunder, you rammed my boat and damn nearly sank her.
I'm sorry.
Dreaming is a punishable offence. You must pay the price.
What price?
What price, Ernest?
Oh, I should think a ducking, at least.
Ah, a dip in the briny, shiver my timbers. You must walk the plank, Titty.
But it's cold. It's nearly Christmas. I think Uncle Arthur should walk the plank. Yes.
What now, vast there, me hearties? Me?
Yes, you.
But I'm the captain. Is this mutiny?
Yes. Walk the plank.
Now, what will you do?
I must obey orders. I shall run the plank. Ah!
Look at him. He's got his clothes on.
Oh, hooray for Uncle
I can't.
Ransom, for heaven's sake!
Stop it. Get him off.
Are you a coward? Check this up, Arthur. Get him.
Father, please.
Wait till I get you.
But I can't see.
You are a coward.
Listen to me, Father. Father, listen.
Wake up,
Listen to me, Father. What?
You were dreaming.
Oh, that was beastly. I'm sweating. I thought I was covered in blood.
The boxing match?
Yes.
Again.
I don't know why after all these years.
Your father has much to answer for.
Oh, no, he was a good man.
Like that headmaster. And you are punched to pieces. How can fighting make gentlemen?
Well, in England, boxing is supposed to be a noble art.
These English have crazy ideas.
Oh.
And you are the craziest of all. I don't know why I married you.
Yes, you do.
Keep away. You have a cold.
Oh, good grief. If this sets my stomach off...
You will deserve it. To jump fully clothed into a lake in December with your health. It's stupid.
Well, I had to. It was like a dare from those kids.
You are still a schoolboy, Ransome. When will you grow up? And you are stupid.
Yes, Topsy.
Yes, Charlie Chaplin. Oh, you're just like Chaplin. Always getting into scrapes.
And you're...
Come here. I will hold you.
My big Russian Amazon.
My little English journalist.
I don't want to be a journalist. I want most awfully to be an author of books. All I've ever wanted is to tell stories. Oh. Kenya. Oh. Dear Kenya. Dearest Top. You're a fighter. You'd have won that boxing match. You're stronger than I am. Much more solid. You always were. Right from the beginning.
Yes?
I don't know if I'm in the right place.
Only you can decide. This is the time for people to decide for themselves.
Yes, of course.
You look lost. This is the People's Commissary for Foreign Affairs. Who are you?
Ransome, Arthur Ransome, Russian correspondent for the Daily News.
English?
Yes,
What do you want?
to see Commissar Trotsky.
Do you?
Well, I have an appointment. Well, I should have.
Yes, I know. I am Evgenia Petrovna Shelepina, Trotsky's personal secretary.
Oh.
Is expecting you. Come this way.
Thank you.
There are still looters in the streets. Soon they will all have been shot. You look hungry.
Oh, I'm starved, actually. I haven't had time to eat today. So many people to see. There's so much going on.
A revolution is going on, Arthur Ransome. Moscow is a shambles. The civil service is on strike. The city is buried under snow. Everybody is hungry. But all will be well. These are adventurous times, or say not?
I'll say they are. The trouble is making sense of it for my newspaper.
Trotsky is in there. He will make sense of it for you.
Thank you.
Perhaps we will meet again. До свидания.
До свидания. Спасибо большое.
Low Ludderburn, Cartmel Fell, Windermere. To Molly Hamilton, 18th of January, 1929. My dear Molly, we returned to the cottage on the 12th. Gania says it's colder here than Moscow. It can't be colder than the Moscow I remember at the height of the revolution, but it's bad enough. Drafts all over the house, the wind whistling through our little bare wood, driving sleet. This morning, Gania opened the curtains to find 7 roe deer nibbling her beloved azaleas to keep out the weather. She said a few choice words, as you can imagine.
Why did you bring me to the Lake District, Ransome, where it rains all the time? Why did we sell Rakundra to buy a cottage so small we cannot move in it, with beams so low we bang our heads every day? Why do we live in such a remote place where there is hardly anyone to talk to? Because you are a stupid man who thinks such things are jolly.
She likes it, really. She loves the garden. And we have Polly and Podge, who bring us mice and rabbits to show how sensible we are to keep such fine cats in the lap of luxury. It's so good to be back in my big workroom in the barn. Imagine me with this wonderful view down the valley and my table pulled close to the fire. All I need is the idea that will so possess me I will actually finish a book instead of abandoning it halfway through. I seek it everywhere. On the fells, under stones, in streams and woods, but it still eludes me. Evgenia says that this is inevitable because I wouldn't recognize an idea if it bit me on the nose. Ted Scott at the Manchester Guardian thinks the same. He told me so when I saw him in Manchester a few days ago.
Arthur, I'm speaking to you as your friend as well as your editor. Give up this ridiculous notion of writing stories. Stories are for children, and all your friends can see your talents lie elsewhere. You're not getting any younger, so when are you going to wake up to the fact that you're a journalist?
Today is my birthday. I'm 45, Molly, and I want to settle. The Guardian posts me around the world like a parcel, and all that frenetic bustling about doesn't suit me anymore. Ted promises that I shall become literary editor eventually, but I want to write books. And I can't write books. It's 6 years since Rakundra's first cruise, and I can't do it anymore. I certainly can't write fiction, even though I spent half my life trying to learn how to do it. At your last party, Jonathan Cape suggested I put together some books to support me in my retirement. He meant essays, of course, not real books. So I'm arranging some of my rod and line Guardian pieces into a little fishing book. Very pleasant, but it's not the real thing, is it? For the thing, I need the idea.
How is the headache?
Aching. Did I ever tell you that my writing began with a pain in the head? I was 8 years old and crouched under the dining room table playing ships with my brother and sister. From the middle of the table, a heavy iron screw pointed downwards. Well, suddenly Geoffrey shouted, "All hands on deck," and I shot up and, I can still feel it. Changed the shape of my head. That afternoon, I wrote my first story about a desert island.
Arthur, come back.
Oh, sorry. I was just, I don't know. Maybe another knock on the head will knock up another story.
About a desert island?
Yes, why not? Oh!
Arthur. Arthur.
Oh, good grief. Who'd have a belly like mine?
You should see the doctor.
What for? He just prescribes powders. No.
Swami? Ransome, it's you. Whatever is the matter? Can you speak?
It's going now. It's all right now. I get this pain in the stomach. It's like a corkscrew that some sadist keeps twisting.
Oh, you poor man. You're hungry. You need potatoes. We all need potatoes. Come along. Hold on to me. How was Trotsky?
Different.
Come back, Arthur.
Oh, potatoes.
What did you say?
I was remembering something.
Come to bed. Come. You must be up early tomorrow. Ernest is coming.
Oh, damn, so he is. Well, you better not bring those brats of his.
Brats?
I hate children.
You do not.
Stand by, taking sail. Load away. I can't stand them. They get all over the place, bouncing about, shouting, causing havoc in the workroom.
I am sorry I cannot give you children.
No more of that. We've said no recriminations on either side.
But it must be my fault.
Genia.
Well, come to bed, you stupid Englishman with the bad belly.
All right, Rusky. I really don't want them to come.
Then they won't come. You told Ernest. And even if they did, they couldn't make you jump in the lake. We have no lake.
We have trees. They could hang me from the yardarm.
You are just like them. No, you are worse. Come, I will protect you.
My Amazon. Damnation.
Uncle Arthur! Uncle Arthur!
Hell's teeth. Brats.
Uncle Arthur!
Now look here, you lot. Go away. I told your
Many
father...
happy returns.
Hey,
Happy birthday for yesterday.
what's this?
Look, slippers.
Slippers?
Turkish slippers. They're a present from us to you. Happy birthday, Uncle Arthur.
Good Lord. I don't know what to say. You've knocked the wind right out of my sail.
Well, put them on, put them on.
Oh, not out here. They'll get muddy. You'd better come in. Into the house, mind, not the workroom.
Yes, sir. Daddy's hiding. Antigenia, look what we've got.
You can come out now, Ernest.
Is it safe?
How could it be anything else? How could anyone resist that?
The slippers are from Tarky and Roger, too. They insisted on buying you a present. They love you, old man.
Good Lord.
Uncle Arthur, are you coming?
Look, Gania, did you ever see such slippers? Real Turks.
Oh, now you look like a Turk, as well as behave like one.
Oh, they fit perfectly. I chose the colour colour, bright scarlet.
They're shaped like barges. You can't get slippers like these hereabouts. They're the handsomest slippers that anyone ever saw. Hooray! La, 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 la.
Now we will have lunch.
Hey, lunch! I'm starving.
Oh, Genya, honestly, I couldn't eat another thing.
You must eat, Ernest. God knows what they will feed you in Syria.
The food's delicious in Syria. Dora loves it.
Dust pies, sand sandwiches, fried mosquito droppings and camel custard. It's true.
Uncle Arthur, why'd you keep a fish on the mantelpiece?
It has staring eyes, so its eyes can hypnotize
Yeah,
you.
it's a monster, isn't it? It's a giant pike.
Yeah.
Uncle Arthur's a famous fisherman. That's his trophy.
This entire house is cluttered with tackle. Hooks, lines, baskets, worms.
Worms?
That's why I'm worm-eaten.
Uncle Arthur's a famous sailor, too.
I think he's a pirate.
What? Well, stuff my gizzard. Fry, frizzle, and boil all children.
Uncle Arthur, can we go into the workroom?
Oh, yes,
Why?
because it's magic.
I shall wear my slippers and be a famous Turk. Alibaba.
He wasn't a Turk.
Wasn't he?
When you sail, Swallow, when you're on the lake and we're in Syria, will you think of us?
I should jolly well hope he will.
I should jolly well think I will. I shall dip my fingers in the water and toss drops into the air and whisper to you on the wind.
Will you?
And the wind will carry my greetings to Syria. So you must listen very carefully.
What will the wind say?
Swallow, I am Swallow. Listen to my brown sail flying in the breezes of England.
Oh, that's lovely.
She's a good boat. She's fast and steady. She has a deep keel. She was ours, and now she's yours.
I think you'll be with me in spirit when I sail her. Will you miss the lakes, do you think?
Awfully. I shall dream about them while you're dreaming about us.
Tell you what, let's sit by the fire and dream now.
Yeah.
All right, then. Now, sit on my knees. Oh, that's it. What should we dream about?
Tell us a story. Tell us another Jamaican story about Nancy, the Spider-Man.
Oh, not a Nancy again.
Yes.
I've forgotten how it begins.
No, you haven't.
In a long time.
Ah, yes. In a long time, before Queen Victoria came to reign over we, there lived in the bush,
Nancy.
Shush, Titty.
there lived in the bush one black, fat, shiny spider called Nancy. I could write them a story, send it to them in Syria, a present in return for the slippers, a story of the lakes, about Swallow and her brown sail. But could I do it? Wanting to write a book is not at all the same thing as getting it written.
Dear Arthur, I think sometimes you have forgotten your own daughter. You've quite forgotten me, although I am your true wife. Did you know that Tabitha has become religious? She has turned to God the Father because her own father deserted us. She's a young woman now, growing up quickly and needing new clothes continually. I need clothes too, of course, but I make do and mend. Perhaps you would like your true wife to walk the streets naked. Some heads would still turn, you know. We're reduced to pawn shops. Everything is sold. All I have left to sell is myself. Perhaps a prince will buy me and keep me as his slave. We must have more money, Arthur, and soon. Your ever constant Constance.
Good grief, Gania. She's calling herself Constance now. But she's still the same Ivy, still clinging, still demanding blood.
Tell her the truth. Say we have no money.
Rags, she says. Slavery, prostitution. She's still living in fantasy. How can she say I've forgotten Tabby? If she knew how her beastly letters upset me.
She knows. That is why she writes. Arthur, you're still not ready.
I shall go and see her. I'll talk to her about the books. Make her see sense.
She terrifies you. She will eat you.
Don't I know it? Health bells, Genia. Is there nothing I can do?
You can get out and start the car. We're going to miss the train. They'll be in Syria before we're in Windermere Station.
They're coming, they're coming!
Look at Uncle Arthur run and Auntie Gania. Doesn't she look funny? At last.
Say, do hurry up, Arthur. Our luggage is in the van. Ready to go.
Oh, made it.
No thanks to you. Gania, well run. We thought we were going to miss you. Party.
Dora, we don't want you to go, you see. Can't bear to watch you leave.
We'll come again.
Not for years.
Roger.
I say, Dora, don't you sometimes wish the old times were still here? And we were young and everything was possible.
Oh, Artie, trust you to whistle for the moon. It's impossible.
Well, it shouldn't be. We should be allowed to hold time in our hands and let the bad times slip out like sand, but keep the best like pearls. I could hold on to those summers forever.
So would I, my dear, and so would Barbara, I'm sure, but we're off to Syria. Gania, thank you for coming to see us off. Let me kiss you goodbye.
I had another letter from Ivy this morning, more melodrama.
Oh, well, keep your distance, old man. She can't help herself.
That doesn't make it any easier. Ernest, do you think I should have tried harder? I sometimes think I could have. I shouldn't have run away to Russia.
You tried. The two of you are incompatible. Nobody blames you.
My father blames me.
Your father?
He would have blamed me, and I blame me. My marriage to Ivy was a nightmare, and the nightmare's still going on.
Not your fault, old man.
Some of it is. Anyway, now you lot. You write to me, do you hear? Else there'll be lashes. Cursed and confounded, I'll sail to Syria and make you walk the plank. All aboard!
The train is leaving.
Climb aboard, you four. Dora, I'll take Bridget. Come here, sweetheart. Come to Daddy.
You're a lucky man, Ernest.
Yes, I know. Goodbye, old man. Enjoy Swallow.
And you enjoy all of them.
Goodbye, Gania.
До свидания, Ernest. До свидания, Evgenia Petrovna Shelepina Ransome.
Hurry, Dora.
Uncle Arthur, we're here.
Yeah, you do. Take care of yourselves.
I hate partings, especially from the Collingwoods. I always did.
I'm an Altunian now.
Well, there was a time when I thought you might become a Ransom.
That was Barbara, surely.
You too. I'm holding that time when we were 20. I have it in my hand and in my head.
You're hopeless. We all love you, you know. Kiss me.
That was for old time's sake.
I know. Goodbye, old friends.
Goodbye, Dora.
Au revoir.
Come and say goodbye to us. Quickly.
Don't go!
Remember us when you sail to Swallow. Talk to us in the wind.
I will. I promise.
And care of him, Genia.
Take care of each other.
Конечно, до свидания, darlings.
Bye-bye.
Bye, bye.
Bye, Uncle Arthur. Hooray! Swallow!
Goodbye. Well. I could put them in the story. 4 children and a boat. I wonder. Well, that's that.
I think you love those children like a father.
Don't be silly, Gania. Come on, let's go. It's time we had an adventure. I feel itchy. I want something exciting to happen.
You love them, and now they have gone.
You know, I'd really like to see Tabitha again.
If you write to her, Ivy will use it against you. Promise me you will not write. We should have our own children. I am hopeless.
Not entirely. You could be much worse.
Oh, too.
Dear Tabitha, I often imagine you as a pretty young lady drawing lingering looks from ardent young men. I also imagine that, like all pretty young ladies, you like pretty new clothes. So here is a little something to buy a new dress. Let it be glamorous, and when the young men sparkle and say how beautiful you look, think of me. Lately, I've been remembering the time when you were small and we were still a family. It would be nice if we could meet sometime, don't you think? I should like that very much. I'm sure we get along famously. Do write and say it will be possible, and I will caper about here, blowing my penny whistle and fingering the accordion and singing and performing those silly little conjuring tricks that used to please you so very much, and generally acting very silly and happy. Write to tell me when and where, and I will come. I wish I could look at you in the new dress. Until we meet, let me sign myself, as in the old days, your Dor.
Father, I am 18 years old. I cannot call you Dor like a baby. Nor can I truthfully say, dear father, for neither word is appropriate. I'm sorry I cannot meet you. Mother and I are extremely busy at the moment. I'm sorry if you are lonely. Perhaps you should have thought about loneliness when you ran away from us to Russia and that woman. Thank you for the money. Tabitha.
Oh, that woman, she says. That's Ivy talking. All this is Ivy's doing. What an abomination that woman is.
But Tabitha writes it. Your daughter.
Oh, good grief. My guts are in torment. Corkscrews and knives and... Oh, God, my daughter.
Hold on now. Now hold it. Now, lift and swing.
Oh, swing or slow. Treat her like a woman, Walker. Softly and sweetly. There. Gently now, steady. Don't mark her body. There's my little bird. There's my swallow.
Mother, dearest Moore, today we moved Swallow from Coniston Water to her new mooring at John Walker's boatyard in Bowness. It'll be good to have her close by. When the spring weather comes, we'll be able to sail her on Windermere and land on islands and picnic and make camp to our heart's content, just as we all used to do when we all spent our summers at Nibthwaite, and we children roved like savages on Peel Island while Father fished and you sketched. Gania says it'll be like our honeymoon, when I'd got her out of Russia and we bought slug and crawled about the Baltic Islands like a couple of lovesick pirates.
Ahoy there, Swallow! Ready about?
I'd dearly like to take Tabitha out in Swallow. I'm sure she'd love it. Oh, Moore, I do so long to see my blessed brat again. But it seems impossible.
What a beastly savage little place this is in winter. The spring frozen solid and... Some children, say 2 girls and a boy, sail a little boat called, I don't know what. Then there's Swallow, sailed by the 4 Altunians. That's 2 boats and 7 children. What can I do with 7 brats? What happens to them? What the blazes do they do? I don't know. Polly, Podge, hurry up. I'm freezing to death out here.
Проходите, пожалуйста. Arthur Ransome. I am glad you have come. I have some bulletins for you. Come in and warm yourself. Sit down.
You're very kind to me, Evgenia Petrovna.
Yes, I am. I am not so kind to the others.
Then why to me?
Trotsky says you are the only Englishman who dares to tell the truth about Bolsheviks.
Ah, is that the only reason?
I, too, trust you not to betray our trust.
Good. I'm glad.
Would you betray me? Us?
Of course not. Well, actually, I have an urgent dispatch to send. Is the censor about?
It's very late, but I think he's still here. He has potatoes, you know. What are you when you are not being a journalist?
I don't have time for a private life. There's too much going on.
I have heard that you travel the streets hunting for news.
I'm a reporter.
You have been under fire?
Several times. It was pretty exciting.
You are a small boy. I wish you to be more prudent, Arthur Ransome. I wish you to preserve yourself for the years after the revolution.
Do you?
A revolution is only politics, but life is everything. And potatoes are what we really want. And that censor doesn't know how to cook. You're burning the potatoes, you silly man.
Potatoes, Podge. You know, when you come down to it, that's all anybody...
Arthur? Arthur? Where are you? Arthur. Arthur. Come back.
Oh. Kenya? Kenya, how did I get to bed?
I carried you.
But I was at the spring.
You fainted.
Oh, good Lord.
The doctor thinks you are going to be all right now. But you must go to him, he says.
He will give you a full examination.
Oh, what a wretch I'm turning into. What a specimen you left Russia for. My stomach is a nightmare. And now I'm fainting.
My hero.
Shoot me.
I should have shot you in Moscow instead of feeding you potatoes. There's a telegram for you from the Guardian.
From Ted?
From his father. The great man wants to see you.
Oh, Lord, you know what that means. Oh, I don't want to go.
Berlin.
Berlin?
Sprigg is leaving. I want you to be our new German correspondent.
But, CP, I thought I was finished with all
Soon
that.
we'll be losing our Saturday essayist. You can do that, too.
From Berlin?
Why not?
Well, good grief, I thought Ted said literary editor.
Oh, yes, eventually. We want you to go to Berlin at the end of April. In a year, 18 months, you can come back as literary editor.
I don't know any German.
You learned Russian, didn't you? Where's the problem? Why are you making problems?
CP, the problem is me. The stuff I do for you now takes up all my time, and I want to write books.
Now, Ted!
Yes, Father?
You're Ransome's friend. Talk some sense into him.
He's objecting, is he?
Yes.
Arthur cherishes his independence, Father. He says he doesn't want to be drawn in.
Rubbish! He must see how highly we think of him.
He says he hates politics.
Hate? How can he? He's a revolutionary, a Bolshevik.
I'm not. I got drawn in there. That's what I mean. Look, can I speak, CP?
Doesn't he like money?
Ask him.
Don't you need money, Ransome?
Arthur, we must have more money if we are to survive. We are sinking, Tabitha and I. It is your duty to keep us afloat. Poverty is so humiliating. So is writing to you.
It's a trap. It's a conspiracy.
What is a conspiracy?
If you will not help us, I will sell the book.
If she touches my library, I'll strangle her.
I am sick of Ivy. I am sick of her letters. I am sick of hearing you talk about her. She makes me ill. She makes you ill. Why did you marry her?
She was beautiful and mysterious and dramatic. She was sensual and exotic. I never met anybody like her. There I was, young and innocent among the excitements of London, and here suddenly was this goddess casting her sexuality at me. She hooked me like a fish.
You are a disgusting fish. And Ivy is a crazy woman.
Come on.
You cannot see what you're doing. All you see is a daughter. I want my daughter. All you see is a deserted wife. A woman who terrifies you, you coward.
Now, don't lose your temper.
I have lost my temper. You know why? Because all that concerns you is books. What do I care for your books?
Books are my life.
Bashri moi! Because Ivy kept your library when you divorced, you wept like a baby. I want my books. I want my books.
If you knew what I went through to collect them, starving myself, making myself ill.
You got me for the books. Am I worth less than books?
Don't be silly.
Silly?
Oh, ow. Good grief. You have a fist like a navvy.
Will you forget the books now?
You've knocked my spectacles, so I can't see a thing.
Oh.
Well, we can't do much about your sight, Ransom. As for the rest, acute intestinal pain, bouts of vomiting, fainting.
Am I dying?
Of course you're not dying. Don't be ridiculous, but you are a mess. And by God, you're scraggy. Put some meat on, all right? And change your lifestyle. You probably have the beginnings of an ulcer, so you'll have to avoid the things that aggravate it. Smoking, for example.
But I've always smoked.
Cigarettes?
Clay pipe.
Good God. And cut out worry. No more stress.
How do you cut out stress?
Up to you to find a way. Stop worrying about your ex-wife for a start, and stop worrying about newspaper deadlines.
But my whole life is deadlines. That's what working for a newspaper is all about.
Then you know the answer. Stop shilly-shallying. Do you like having an ulcer? Are you short of money or something?
I'm always short of money.
Think about it, Arthur.
I'm thinking. It's something to think about.
You're a great reporter, one of the very best. You proved that in Russia. That's why CP wants you for this job. That's why he's making you an offer you can't refuse. Now you and Gania can live in comfort with no more financial worries.
In Germany.
And there's another thing. Father is getting frail. He can't hold on to the reins for much longer, no matter how much he wants to. When he goes, I shall be editor, and I'll need a friend more than ever. So what do you say?
I wish you wouldn't make it personal.
It is personal.
Look, I like it here in the hills.
You like it here, don't you, Podge? I like things the way they are. Writing my column from here and popping down to Cross Street to write leaders and then staying with you and you coming to stay here. And I do so want to write stories. Nobody has any idea how much. If I take the Berlin job, I can kiss them goodbye forever.
That's nonsense.
It isn't, you know. Journalism and fiction don't mix. Not in me, anyhow. They require two quite different states of mind.
Other people do it.
Do you think I haven't tried? I've driven myself nearly mad trying. I can't suddenly turn from writing articles to writing stories, or the other way about. The change puts my sentences out of tune, and it takes me days to get them right again.
Then you must make a choice.
So it seems.
But there is no choice, is there? You're 45. These stories are just dreams, and you can't live on dreams.
There's a lot to be said for dreams.
You cannot refuse our offer. You can't do that to your wife.
No.
The decision is made, then. You give up the stories, you give up the books. Your future lies with the Guardian, with me.
What the dickens is to be done? Oh, how can I sleep? I can't stop thinking about it. I can't think straight. Oh, Lord, Kenya. If only I could write stories, we should be all right.
If you cannot write stories, you have no choice.
I know.
Come to bed.
I don't want to go to Berlin. I don't want to work in the corridor. It feels like a prison closing in. Doors clanging. Like turning a key on everything I've ever really wanted out of life. Kenya? Are you listening? Father, what can I do?
Father, watch me. Look at this.
What is it now?
You have to look. It's important.
Can't you see I'm busy, Arthur? I have 100-page proofs to check. This isn't a holiday for me.
It's going to be my career.
Another one? I thought it was making spills. I thought it was breeding caterpillars. You're forever after some new thing, some useless fad or fancy. God help me, you grow more like your feckless grandfather every day. Well, I won't have it, do you hear? I'll make you settle into a decent professional life if it's the last thing I do.
Will you look, Father? It's no good if you don't look. It doesn't work.
Oh, very well. What have you come up with this time?
Conjuring. I'm going to be a magician. Watch me. I can pull rabbits out of hats. I captured a baby rabbit last week, up on the fell, and I've been practicing. Father?
Arthur, if I die prematurely, it'll be your fault. Don't you love me?
Yes, I do.
Then why won't you do as I ask? Why won't you ever please me?
But I try, Father, all the time.
Give that wretched, twitching thing its freedom and come with me.
But you haven't seen.
I'm going fishing. You can row for me. Let's see if you can do something useful. For God's sake, Arthur, what the blazes do you think you're doing?
Rowing, Father.
Well, stop it, you little idiot. Stop it.
Well, I thought you said...
Have you no brains? I have the biggest pike in Coniston Water on the line. It's pulling the boat by itself. Can't you see? Can't you feel it, boy?
But I don't know what... I thought...
Hold water, for heaven's sake. Hold him steady while I make sure he's properly hooked. Backwater, Arthur. I'm going to lose him because of you, damn it. You're still going the wrong blasted way.
I'm sorry. Oh.
Don't fall about, boy. Get up again. Look, there's nothing to blub about. You're such a duffer, boy.
Forgive me, Father. And tell me what I should do. Genya, look what the postman has just... I say, you've done the whole patch. You dig like a navvy, too.
And you're smoking your pipe again.
No wonder I smoke. Tobacco holds me together in the face of things like this.
What is it now?
Telegram from CP. Listen. Sprigg already left Berlin. Will you go there as soon as possible? I can't hold them off any longer.
So, what will you do?
Well, it's our decision, not just mine. But I'll have to do it. We couldn't survive otherwise. It'll mean uprooting from all this, just as the spring is coming.
With snowdrops in the wood, and daffodils everywhere, and lambs.
And sailing weather coming up.
And what about my garden? This garden I have made. Who will look after it?
Lord knows. We'll have to sell the place. Oh, how I wish I could give up political journalism for good.
Will there be a garden like this in Berlin?
Doubt it. We'll find you something, of course, but not with mountains and lakes or swallow waiting in the wings. Why are you smiling?
Write your books, Charlie.
What?
I wish to dig this garden. I have made it. I will not let another woman put her feet in my earth. So, go to Ted Scott and tell him you are not a politician. Tell him you are not a journalist either. Tell him you are finished.
Well, hand in my notice, but we wouldn't have any sure income at all, and our savings are puny.
Tell him your wife is a revolutionary who is growing potatoes against the famine.
Gania, you are, without a doubt, the bravest, most loyal and courageous...
I know, Charlie.
Oh, my big Russian Amazon.
My little English awesome.
Come here, Nabby.
Find my potatoes.
Amazon. I'll call her Amazon. And her crew.
Call who?
Never mind.
That is what you will call who, Arthur. I want to know. If you don't tell me, I shall hit you like a navvy.
An independent career. You're making a mistake, you know.
Ted.
But I see you're determined, so good luck. This isn't goodbye. We're still friends. We'll still see a lot of each other. And we'll see, Arthur. Dreams fade. One wakes up eventually. I can wait. So can the corridor.
Well, we've burned our boat, Topsy. Lord knows how we'll keep afloat. Ugh. What do you say we visit Swallow tomorrow in her shed? Just to look at her and say hello.
You think a boat will hear you? You think she is alive?
Oh, yes. She's alive. Look at her. Stout and trim and lovely with her brown sail. Just wait till that sail is billowing. You know what she is?
A distraction.
Freedom, adventure, dreams coming true, and memories. She promises so much, and she reminds me of everything.
She needs some new paint here. When they moved her, they scraped her side.
Being small, being young. Islands. Peel Island on Coniston, and us children pretending to be savages while Mother sketched and Father fished.
There's a spar here, needs replacing.
And then years later, sailing over to Peel from Lane Head with the Collingwoods.
You are a coward. What are we going to do with you?
Falling in love with Dora and Barbara at the same time, on an island in a lake.
Arthur?
What?
When you're on the lake and we're in Syria, will you think of us? I should jolly well hope you will.
I shall dip my hand in the water and toss drops into the air and whisper to you in the wind.
Arthur, have you been listening to me?
Yes?
You are in love with a boat. I am jealous.
Well, she's a comfort, like you, old top.
Yet, not like me. She is adventure like me. And you are always wanting adventure.
So I am. Very well. Kiss me, my big Russian adventure.
We are falling in.
The first fine day, we'll get her out of the water.
We are going to jibe.
No, we're not. The wind isn't that strong. Hold her steady.
We'll keep her full. Keep her sailing.
Oh, yes, all the way. Are you cold?
No, it's mild for March.
Yeah, first warm day. Look at those white clouds reflected in the water. Oh, it's exhilarating. I feel in my bones that this is going to be a year.
Oh, don't count chickens. Shall we stop at Store's Hall Pier for tea?
Hot frog, shiver my timbers. And a sail back in the dusk. Oh, a sailor's life for me. So, pack your old sea chests and get underway. Way to Rio, the days we are leaving are all on the bay, and we're bound for the Rio. Junior, you awake? Sleep on, you gigantic muffin. There's nothing for you to do. We're practically becalmed. Tabby?
Father, I am 18 years old. I cannot call you Dodo like a baby.
I think sometimes you have forgotten your own daughter.
How could I forget her?
Arthur, my boy. Today I'm tired of being a professor and sick of writing history books. Come with me and I'll teach you how to fish. We'll cast our lines off those rocks at the end of the island. What do you say?
Yes, Father. I should like that very much.
Slow. I am slow. Listen to my brown sail flying in the breezes of England.
It's lovely. She's a good boat. She's fast and steady. She has a deep keel. She was ours, and now she's yours.
Yours, like the slippers. The slippers.
And if I put you in my story, you'll be mine too. You'll be my children. And them. Those girls yelling like savages. Those too. I should think Dora and Barbara were like them once. If they were the crew of Amazon, I could make them live forever. And keep them forever.
What is that noise?
Oh, 2 young girls in red caps running along the shore. They were shouting, rough as pirates. You've been asleep.
I was in Russia with Trotsky in a boat. Why are you trailing your hand in the water?
I'm touching the lake. Say hello.
You are a madman. What happened to the wind?
It died.
It will be dark soon. It is dusk now.
Lights coming on shore.
Are we getting anywhere?
Oh, yes. A long way. Go back to sleep. I'll wake you in time. Notes for story. Title, The Swallows and the Amazons. Children, the Walkers and the Blacketts. A story about boats, lakes, islands, and the joy of their discovery by children from a town. They come to the lake and find Swallow and an island, and go exploring and meet pirates, the Amazons. It needs a hero, therefore the eldest Walker should be a boy, Captain John, and mate Susan, and able seaman Titty, and ship's boy Roger, and Nancy and Peggy Blackett. Good Lord, we're away.
"29th of March, 1929. Dear Molly, I'm writing again. Real writing at last. A story. I began it a week ago during a sail on Windermere, and now I begrudge every minute I spend away from the typewriter and hate everything else I have to do except fishing and sailing. The story is about some children, and it's set here in the lakes, although I've given places new names and pulled the geography about a bit. Molly, I'm so happy. The book has come from nowhere, like a present. I've been writing one thing or another for most of my life, but only now at 45 do I feel like a proper writer. The book is for publication, if a publisher will take it, but really I'm writing it for myself. I'm putting into it the Altunian children and my own childhood too, and myself. I'm in there, lock, stock and barrel, heart and soul. Swallow slipped slowly out towards the mouth of the bay. She made at first no noise and hardly any wake. Then, as she came clear of the northerly side of the bay, she found a little more wind, and the cheerful lapping noise began under her forefoot, while her wake lengthened out and bubbled astern of her. I'm sailing. My desk is a ship. My typewriter a sail. My words a fair wind. Ahoy there, shipmates! Where are you bound?
1st April, 1929. Dear Mother, I have lost Arthur. He spends every day and half the night in his workroom, pacing about, singing and shouting and hitting his typewriter as though he would break it. If you could hear him, you would think he had gone mad. He is more of a child than ever, because now he has children in his head. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Yes, you are.
I have the manuscript beside the bed. I'm touching it.
What for?
Luck.
You do not touch me for luck. I am jealous.
Don't be silly.
Those children in the story mean more to you than I do, because I cannot give you children.
Gania, don't spoil it. 5th of April, 1929. Dearest Moore, ignore Gania. She's in one of her barometric Russian moods because I'm ignoring her, she says. She can't bear to be ignored. But you know her. The sun will shine soon, and all will be plain sailing again. Anyway, nothing can disturb me just now, because writing this story is turning out to be the most awfully exciting adventure I've ever had, and I've had a few. Because children love stories that tell of adventures that might happen with luck to themselves, everything that happens will be possible, and there'll be lots of detail about how to do things like sail boats and make a good camp and how things work and so on. But there's much more to it than that. Captain John is a sort of idealized version of your eldest son. He's plucky and resourceful and reliable, just the sort of boy I should have liked to be to please Father and you. He's no duffer. Something quite amazing is happening. My children keep doing things on their own. All I have to do is play kettle drum tunes on the typewriter with Able Seaman Titty and Mate Susan and Captain John and Roger the ship's boy pulling my fingers this way and that, and things come tapping out on the paper that make me get up and walk about and chuckle as if someone were telling me a story, or as if I were part of Swallow's crew and their adventures were happening to me too. I've written 50 pages in almost a fortnight. It's time to see if there's a market for it, if there's money in it, for if not, I shall go up to London and try out the idea on Jonathan Cape, and I'll show the pages themselves to Molly Hamilton to get somebody else's reaction, though I'm terrified to let anybody see it in case it's not the swashbuckling wonder to others it is to me. I don't think I could bear that.
To sail it is 35.
Able Seaman Titty had wedged herself in the bottom of the boat between the tent bundles with a basket of small crockery in her arms for safety's sake. She could just see over the gunwale.
I wonder if the man on the houseboat has his family with him.
He's all alone.
The others may be cooking in the cabin. He's probably a retired pirate.
Just then, a harsh squawk sounded over the water, and a large green bird, which they had not noticed, shook itself where it stood, perched on the rail that ran round the stern of the houseboat.
He is a retired pirate. There's its parrot.
Ah, me hearties, that's Captain Flint.
British sailors, we'll range and we'll roam over all the salt seas until we strike soundings in the channel of old England. From Ashant to sail it is 35 years.
I've read it.
Well, no, don't tell me. Yes, do.
Fool, do you want my opinion or not?
Good grief, Molly.
I'll tell you my feelings, shall I? I feel privileged to think I'm the very first to have seen it.
Does that mean you like it?
I love every page. It's far and away the best thing you've written. You must write the rest as soon as possible while the mood is on you and the inspiration lasts. Don't let anything get in your way.
Well, Gainier...
Not even Gainier. What did Cape say?
He'll take it to keep me quiet, but it's a book of essays he really wants. Do you really like it?
Finish it. Get it written.
18th of June, 1929. Dearest Molly, summer is blazing and my children are having a whale of a time. Every day they go off adventuring, sailing and fishing and lighting campfires and going to war and generally doing just as they please and taking no notice at all of me, their father. That's the way children ought to be, of course, but try telling that to that miserable old pirate Flint. He's proving himself the most awful ass and nuisance, like me, although I'm glad to say Captain John has the measure of him. What times we're having! They all pull me about most awfully, and consequently the book keeps on growing and growing, but it's nothing to do with me. Every now and then I slip off in Swallow by myself and land on islands to make tea and fish in the bays. But just when I think I've given them the slip, they come rattling into my head, and I have no choice but to rush back to the typewriter and sweat like a slave while they let rip. My notice to the Guardian expires tomorrow. Then we'll be entirely on our own, and everything will hinge on those blessed children. Evgenia's getting very nervous about it because we're eating into our savings. I play at ostriches with the local lads to hide my terror.
Dear Auntie Gania and Uncle Arthur, we've bought a boat in Syria. We keep it moored near a place called Antioch. It's tremendous fun, and we don't miss the lake quite so much now. Or dear Swallow. But when we're sailing, I used to listen for you in the wind, and I shout, "Uncle Arthur!" at the top of my voice. Can you hear me?
Yes, Titty. I hear you all the time.
There is no longer a need to write the book, Arthur. They don't need to be reminded of old boats.
I can't stop now.
No, you cannot. Those children obsess you. They have taken you over. They make you neglect everything you should be doing. You hide in your workroom and play endless games with them, like a mad child yourself.
But that's exactly what writing stories is. Can't you understand?
I will make some tea. Do you want tea? There is no milk. Do you want tea without milk?
There's no milk. No milk.
But there's no milk, and it's too early to go up to the farm.
And there isn't time for that. Let's have it without. And call it hot grog.
So hot grog it was, and served in large tots. No tea with milk ever tasted better than this hot milkless tea on Wildcat Island, while the first sunlight was creeping down from the tops of the opposite hills.
Well,
hot grog.
Hot grog? Oh, you madman. I shall have you certified insane.
Gania, a child's imagination is irrepressible. It's a magic wand that rebuilds the world as a place of wonder and beauty and excitement, where everything is possible, and yet it's still the real world. There's no difficulty in a lake being an ocean, or a surly fat man a retired pirate. That's the really wonderful thing. That's what I'm trying to put into the book.
So, tea without milk is hot grog.
Exactly.
You are no longer part of the real world, and you will not finish this book.
I've written 254 pages.
You will stop. You always stop. You cannot finish. Hot grog. Idiot!
Don't shame me, boy. You're a duffer, Arthur.
You can't do anything. Look at you.
Arthur, CP has retired. The Guardian is mine. Come to Manchester soonest. Soonest.
Here's to you, Ted. May your editorship be as long and successful as CP's, but less autocratic.
Thank you. And here's to us, my friend, to the renewal of our association. You'll come back now.
My notice has expired.
Oh, I paid no attention to that. I need you. Arthur Ponsonby is going into politics. I want you to write his Saturday articles.
I told you, Ted, I can't do two things at once. And Swallows and Amazons is just a very rough first draft. I'm not even halfway there.
So give it up. You're not a storyteller, Arthur. Gania thinks it's stupid, too. Listen, you can write the articles from Ludderburn. Plenty of time for fishing and whatnot. Aren't you my friend?
That isn't fair.
Well, of course it isn't. It's business. Do this for friendship's sake and for money.
I'll be back where I started.
But comfortable.
We have to live, Arthur. We cannot do just as we please. We cannot live on fairy stories.
I can't do it. I can't think.
Arthur, don't sound so desperate.
I am desperate. Essays will be the death of me.
Hold these flowers, will you?
Oh, right. I have an absolutely dreadful time thinking up subjects. It takes me 3 days at least to draft and polish the article. The week's gone and it's time to think up the next. And I can't think. And Ted said it would be easy.
You are too anxious.
Well, of course I'm anxious. I'm building bricks without straw. It's wearing me out and I'm getting headaches again.
It is because they are not stories, isn't it? All you want to do is write fairy stories for brats.
I haven't touched the book in months. How do you think that feels?
Does it matter? The Guardian pays the money, so writes the essays. Brats do not pay money.
They might in time. If they had a chance, they might pay more.
Brats.
What's the matter with brats?
Everything. You are a brat too. You will never be anything else.
I baffle you, don't I? I baffle Ted, Ivy, Tabitha. I baffle everybody.
I will hit you.
Ow! Ow!
Oh.
Revolutions may come, revolutions may go, but brats go on forever. When I was in Russia, I wanted to write a perfectly stunning brat book, but there was a revolution and I couldn't. So I dreamed. I dreamed that afterwards, when it was over, I would go back to the north of England To pen, ink, tobacco, fishing, and the lake country. And I did. I made the dream come true. What happened? I ran to Russia in 1913 to escape a woman. I fled Russia in 1919 with another. Serves me right. Oh, my head is bursting. When we got out of Russia, I went down with a brain fever. Is it coming back?
You'll never amount to anything now, Arthur. If you carry on like this, you'll never be any good at all.
I'm sorry, Father.
How could you fail your rugby scholarship? How could you do that to me?
I tried, honestly.
I wanted to see you at my old school, my eldest son following in my footsteps. And I wanted to see you in a solid career.
Father, is your leg very bad?
What's left of it?
You won't die, will you? Promise you won't die.
I never make promises I can't keep. I wanted us to be friends, boy. But you're what you are, and now it's too late. You're a disappointment to your mother and me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I did try, Father, but I was no use. And then when I was a little better, you were gone.
September 15th, 1929. Dear Tabitha, if we go on like this, you'll be grown up and married, and I shall be an old man or dying, and we still won't know each other. I need to see you, even if you don't need to see me. Please meet me on Saturday in Salisbury. We'll go for a walk.
Why, Arthur?
Because I want to see her before it's too late.
Because your conscience is troubling you again. Your conscience is stupid. You are playing into their hands, she and her mother.
Somebody has to sort it out.
You will sort it out. What do you think they will do? They will destroy you. You have a death wish.
Somebody has to make the effort. And I have to face things, face them, instead of hiding away here. I'm falling to pieces here. So I'm taking arms against a sea of troubles.
You think that by opposing you will end them? You think you're Hamlet? Look what happened to Hamlet. Look what he did. The damage he caused, the disaster.
Well, I jolly well won't.
What about me?
Eugenia?
What are my feelings? Doesn't that concern you? I would like us to have a daughter too.
Well, we haven't got one, and it doesn't matter. I don't care.
You do.
Good God, woman, I just want to see my daughter again before... I want to make peace between us.
Arthur, the peacemaker. I laugh. I laugh. I laugh. I laugh.
Tabby.
Hello, Father.
Dear Tabby. Come here, let me kiss you. It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you, too.
Well, well. And you've grown so much. You're so tall. Such a lady. Is this the dress I sent the money?
Yes. I thought you might like to see it.
Well, let me look at you. Turn around.
Do you like it? I thought the blue would suit...
You look stunning. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you for coming.
I wanted to come.
Did you? Your mother...
I'll tell her afterwards. Shall we walk? I like walking.
Oh, well, that's something you inherited from me.
Did you want something in particular?
No, just to see you.
You didn't come to talk about the books? Because I don't think I should take sides between you and Mother.
Oh, absolutely.
What does that mean?
I always tried to protect you from our troubles. I wouldn't want you to become involved now.
That's all right, then.
You know, you're not a bit like your letters. Well, they're so cold, I was almost afraid to see you. I thought, Lord, if we don't get on anymore, if we fight, you and me, I don't know what I'll do. But you're so lovely.
Letters are difficult. I have to show them.
I thought so.
Sometimes Mother writes something and I have to make it sound like me.
You know, so I can never know whether it's you or your mother who's talking?
I suppose not. It's difficult. I'm sorry.
Oh, good grief, Tabby. I say, shall we walk arm in arm? Just for a little while, like any father and daughter.
If you like. There.
Thank you.
Why did you leave us, Father?
I didn't want to. I had no choice. Things were getting very bad between your mother and me. But she had an appalling childhood, you know. Her parents fought and they used her to beat each other with. It tore her apart. Going away was the only way I could protect you from that. I've always loved you, Tabby.
This is like the times when you came home from Russia, wearing your Cossack hat. I mean, at first, when you and Mother were still trying.
We had some lovely times.
And I loved your letters to me. I learned them off by heart. I remember when you wrote from Moscow, when you said everybody was being very difficult, and you said Dordor wishes he and his Baba were lying in the long grass, singing their songs and smoking. I liked that. I wanted it too.
Dordor and his Baba. Well, Baba, what do you say we stroll along to the Kadina for some tea? You used to adore cream and strawberry pastry sandwiches. You shall have them again.
I still like them.
You see? I never forget.
Do you remember when I was very small, how you used to play your penny whistle to make me eat my food? You said you were charming me like a snake.
Yeah, I remember.
And you used to show off those conjuring tricks you learned when you were young.
Oh.
One breakfast time, you threw up a loaf of bread and it stuck to the ceiling.
Yeah, I remember.
And you did it with lumps of sugar, too.
I can still do that. I can still do conjuring tricks. Watch me.
Not here, Father.
Yes, watch. Sugar lumps. Shake them up. And... whee!
Father, how could you?
Have I embarrassed you?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Forgive me. Don't let it spoil things.
All right. It won't. I am enjoying this, you know.
Tabby, come to see us at Ludderburn. Come for a holiday. A sailing holiday. I have the most wonderful little boat. Gania would love to see you.
Would she? What is she like?
A bit like me. Very noisy. Amazonian. You'd like her.
All right.
You come? Oh, that's wonderful. Absolutely. Write to tell me when. And Tabby, call me Dordor again. Just one last time.
All right. Dordor.
Ah, dear Father, I'm sorry, but I cannot... Dear God!
I cannot come for the holiday. I cannot go sailing with you. Mother says you will drown me.
I'll drown her mother. I'll swing for that woman.
You see?
She said she'd come. Gania, she promised.
You cannot make peace with them. They will not allow it.
I shall see Ivy.
You think you will do better with a crazy woman? She will murder you.
I have to sort this out, and I want my library back.
Those books again. Arthur, what is happening to you? You are going crazy. Anyway, she frightens you too much.
Yes, she does. She terrifies me. Puts me in a blue funk. I'm nervous already, but I have to go.
She will not see you.
She will if she thinks there's money in it. Why did you suggest a restaurant? I hope you're not planning one of your scenes.
I never make scenes. Husband.
Don't call me husband.
Arthur, it's for my protection. You can't be nasty to me in front of all these people.
I was never nasty. Are you Ivy today or Constance?
I'm whatever you want me to be. I'm plasticine in your hands. I always was, remember? You do remember, Arthur?
I remember. Now look. Your soup, madam.
Why, thank you, Archie.
Bon appetit.
Yes, Archie, I have.
You know the waiter?
No.
You called him Archie?
Well, he looks an Archie, don't you think?
Good Lord. Ivy,
Is your conscience troubling you? Is that why you're here? You always had such a conscience. It was one of the sweet things about you. I wish you'd eat too. You make me seem greedy.
I'm not hungry.
I thought it was about money. I hoped you were going to offer us more.
More? You already get far more than the agreed settlement, so I wish you'd stop clamouring.
You're raising your voice. Do you want a scene? Oh, Arthur, be nice, as you were at first. We had a good time then. We did, didn't we?
I suppose so, at first.
I want us to be friends again.
How can we be friends when you try to injure me at every opportunity?
I don't mean to. I don't set out to. I know I failed you, Arthur, but we failed each other, didn't we? I needed a strong man, but you...
Go on.
You were just kind. You were the only man who ever tried to be kind to me.
For heaven's sake.
And now when I need you to be kind, you've become strong. Isn't that ironical?
I'm not strong. Not the way you mean. I never will be. I'm too soft.
Be soft to me, then. I need you, Arthur. Who else can I turn to for support and advice but the most important man in my life?
Ivy, this is years too late.
Do you remember how I used to sponge you from head to toe in the slipper bath in front of the fire at Hatch? And how we made love afterwards?
This isn't the time or the place.
You're still an attractive man. Don't you find me attractive still?
No, I don't. For heaven's sake, this is all nonsense. We're in cuckoo land again. I came here to talk about my library and Tabitha.
You used to call me baby. Remember? Say it again.
Baby. There. Now, can we...
I'm sure if you looked closer, if you weren't so blind, look at me, Arthur, my eyes. My eyes are as they always were.
I won't play your game, Ivy. I won't. Tabitha.
I'll leave her out of this. You don't understand her, you don't see her, you don't know her.
She's my daughter.
I won't discuss her. You don't understand me either, do you? You never did. You can't understand people. No wonder you can't write. You're too insensitive.
I can write. Of course I can write.
Prove it. When was your last book? That cruise thing, wasn't it? That was 6 years ago. 6 years!
Have you finished?
You're finished as a writer. I'm not the only one who thinks so. Everybody thinks so.
Everybody, eh?
Absolutely everybody.
Well, it would help me get started again if I had my library back.
Your books. You need the books to write.
Well, of course I need them. All those thousands of volumes. What do you think I collected them for? Didn't I use them all the time we were together?
I didn't realize. I'm sorry. Of course, you could ask her to buy you some.
Who are you talking about now?
That Russian woman, that Red.
Oh, I might have known.
When you brought her out of Russia, I bet you thought you were some sort of white knight, didn't you?
People are looking at
It humiliated me. Did you ever think of that, Arthur? Did you ever think of how your wife would feel?
Are you jealous?
God, you're as blind as you ever were!
Ah! Give me back my spectacles. I can't see.
No, you can't see anything, you stupid man!
Ivy, this is abominable. Back to the old melodrama. That's why I left you, don't you see? Now give them back.
Archie, come here! Come here, that's right. Listen to this. Everybody, listen. Are you all listening? You see, these spectacles, they belong to the great writer Arthur Ransome, this man here.
Ivy!
You have heard of him, haven't you? Has anybody heard of him? Nobody's heard of him. Well, that's understandable, because Arthur Ransome only pretends to write. He can't actually do it at all. He can't actually do anything because he's blind.
Give them back!
I could hardly believe it. She must have felt ashamed, because after they threw us out of the restaurant, she was sweetness personified and agreed to send 1,000 or 2,000 books without a quibble. Oh, wait till you see my books.
You are so confident.
I am this time. She promised. She's trying to make amends. There's the goods van. Come on, hurry.
Books will not run away.
There's a box. See? Look. Ransome, low ladder burn. She's done it. What did I tell you? But where are the others? Where... Gania, where are the other boxes?
There are no others. Here is a letter.
Give it to me. She must be sending the rest by carrier. Dear Arthur.
Here are 1 or 2 books you wanted specially and all your early diaries. I don't think I need send anything else. Did you seriously expect me to send 2,000, you blind man? Enclosed is a note from Tabitha.
I don't believe it. Dear
Dear
Father.
Father, Mother told me of your request. I don't think it is right that you should wish to remove the library from us. It is ours. Anyway, you will not need it to write books, because you will never write any more books.
Oh, my God.
Arthur,
Send the lorry away again here. Tell the driver we won't need him after all. Tell him.
Yes.
Tell him.
Yes, I will tell him. And I will kill those women. Swoimi rukami. They are destroying you.
Doesn't she realize the cruelty of saying such a thing to a man who spent the first 30 years of his life collecting those books and who needs them continually?
She realizes.
There are not many daughters who would be happy to take their father's library while he's still alive.
You are too trusting, too innocent, too young.
I can't see my way anymore. I've tried to find it, but every road turns out to be a dead end. Father was right when he said I'd come to no good.
Your father was never right about you.
I should have listened to him.
Arthur.
Now the Guardian will be on my back for the next essay, and I have no idea. My life is a battlefield. That's bad enough, but why am I always on the losing side? Son, father, husband, writer.
Arthur, pull yourself together.
And my children have been waiting for me for such a long time. They'll think I've abandoned them.
You have no children.
In the book.
I think you should give up books.
You too, Genya.
It is not good for you. Look at you. It is tearing you to pieces.
I am in pieces.
We should go faster. We will be late for the party.
What party?
I have invited children. We are giving a tea party. Because I knew how it would be with the books.
A tea party?
It is to make you happy.
Wonderful.
Play us a tune on the whistle, Mr. Ransome.
Oh, righto. What should it be? I know.
Play something else, Mr. Ransome.
Oh, righto. What should it be now? Yes, I know.
Sing the song! Sing the song!
Oh, what should it be now? I know.
Jump in.
Coco the North.
Summer is coming
Give
in.
him time. Let him breathe. Give him time.
Was you never down on Rio Grande? Way, Rio. It's there that the river runs on golden sand, and we're bound for the Rio Grande. Away, boys, away. Away, Rio. Seems anywhere my body can go. We're bound for the
You have an ulcer. Cut out worry. No more stress.
The decision is made. You give up the stories, you give up the books. Your future lies with the Guardian, with me.
Arthur, if I die prematurely, it's your fault.
You can't understand people. No wonder you can't write. You're finished as a writer. Everybody thinks so.
You will never write any more books, Father.
I think you should give up books.
I listen for you in the wind, and I shout, Uncle Arthur, at the top of my voice. Can you hear me? Are you listening, Uncle Arthur?
Yes, Titty. I'm listening.
Arthur! Where are you going?
I'm listening.
What are you doing? Arthur! Come back! Come back! Arthur!
Oh, beastly horrid fever. I shouldn't have come. I had to. Like old woods.
Arthur.
Copies.
Arthur.
Old woods.
Arthur. Are you awake?
What's the matter? Is the school on fire?
No, it's all right. May I sit on your bed?
Yes. Why?
I have something to tell you. You might like to hold my hand. That's it. Arthur, your father, of course he's been very ill.
Well, his leg?
Yes, his leg. Apparently it became tubercular.
He's not. He hasn't.
I'm so sorry. Arthur, you won't be able to see him again.
He hasn't died. He hasn't. He can't die because I have to speak to him. I have to say I'm sorry for failing that exam. I have to tell him I'm sorry for everything. I'm only 13. Father! Father! Oh, Father!
Forgive me, Father. Forgive.
Ransome, you will tell them the truth about Bolsheviks. I demand it.
I do. But trust me, you don't tell me the truth. You manipulate the truth. Manipulate me. My people think I'm a traitor.
Yes, I know. It is a joke. A joke.
You need potatoes. Potatoes are what we want. Potatoes. Potatoes.
Father.
Morning.
Good grief. Who are you?
Billy. You've been shouting. We heard you in night, in dark. You sick?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, I've been feverish for a day or two.
You're sweating? How long you been sleeping outdoor?
Oh, about a week. You're a charcoal burner, aren't you?
Aye. Got a pitstead yonder. Got a burn going. My son Billy's there. What are you doing out here? You ain't even got canvas.
I came away in a hurry. I did this when I was a boy. Bit old for it now. I suppose I've gone back to my childhood.
Yeah. Like running away?
No. Like running too.
Oh, hey, we got something for that cough. Come on with me.
Good Lord. That's strong stuff.
Aye, it is. My dad says you're having a bit of an adventure.
Adventure?
I don't like it. You can stay here till you're better if you want. Suit yourself. Got to go now and help Dad out there with Burn. I'll leave fire a minute and it's out of some hole or other, smoking like a live thing. Folk don't realise.
Oh, I realise. I knew charcoal burners when I was a boy. This is like old times.
Well, you just settle. Drink your medicine. Burns your guts black as charcoal, but it kills fever, Dad.
Phew. An adventure. Like my swallows. Like my Amazons. They could meet charcoal burners. These two. Of course they could. They can do anything. Suddenly, high in the darkness, they saw a flicker of bright flame. There was another, and then another, and then a pale blaze lighting a cloud of smoke. They all looked up towards it, as if they were looking at a little window, high up in a black wall. As they watched, the figure of a man jumped into the middle of the smoke, a black, active figure, beating at the flames. The flames died down, and it was as if a dark blind were drawn over the little window. Then a new flame leapt up, and again the man was there, and then that flame died down, like the others. And there was nothing but the dark.
It's savages. I was sure there must be some somewhere in those woods.
Good old Titty. I can write stories, can't I? Never mind Ted, never mind Ivy or Tabby, never mind Gania, never mind the blessed doctor to blazes with them all. I can do anything. So long as I don't listen to people. Except my children. Except John and Susan and Titty and Roger and Nancy and Peggy and Captain Flint and the charcoal burners and the girls with red caps and Dora and Barbara and my brother and sisters. They're all in there. Everybody's in it. And me. I put my life in. I can do it, Father.
Uncle Arthur! Uncle Arthur!
Many happy returns, Uncle Arthur.
Look, slippers!
Turkish slippers.
Can you hear them, Father? They're alive. They're alive!
Hey, where you going, mister?
I'm coming! I'm coming!
Well done. Medicine done him good.
Aye, Billy. Looks like.
Why did you do it?
Because I was going mad.
So you drove me mad with worry. Good. What did you expect to gain?
That wasn't the point.
So what did you do?
I slept out in the woods. I lit a fire.
You played. You played at being a savage like a little boy.
I met some charcoal burners.
Oh, wonderful. Did you meet fairies, too?
I was ill.
You are mad. Was it worth it?
Yes, I've come back to finish my story.
Stories are not important. The Manchester Guardian wants you.
I think they're important. I think they're the most important thing.
No.
Your story is unworthy of you.
I don't think so.
It is poor. I do not like it.
Well, I shall finish it anyway. It doesn't matter what anyone says now, even you.
But you are to go to Egypt. There is to be a general election. You are to cover it for The Guardian, so you cannot write the book.
I will write it. Can't you get that into your head? I shall write it on the boat in Egypt.
No!
And I'll finish it.
Why, you stupid man?
To be true to my children.
What? Children! There are no children. They are dreams.
Steady on. Damn you, Gania. Can't you see I'm being true to myself at last? For years I've done what others wanted. I've been like a shuttlecock bandied about by lunatics. I've lived not one life but snatches of a dozen different lives. Well, no longer. No longer!
I was never them royal brand.
Well, Arthur, what have you to say for yourself?
I did it, Father. I covered that election in Egypt for The Guardian, but I worked on Swallows and Amazons too. On the boat, in Cairo, then back at Ludderburn. You'd have been proud of me.
Would I?
The way I worked. 1930 arrived. In the January, my 46th birthday came and went, and I kept on writing. In February, I gave notice to Ted Scott all over again. Now everything turned on the book.
Ahoy there, Swallow! Ready about? Stand by to take in sail. Go right away.
Do you expect me to approve of that?
Yes, yes. In April, Uncle Arthur delivered his manuscript to his publisher in London, and on the 21st of July, 1930, Swallows and Amazons was published. And he hadn't forgotten us. It was dedicated to the six for whom it was written in exchange for a pair of slippers. To us, for those Turks.
You see, Father?
But that wasn't what I wanted for you. Or your mother. We wanted...
But it was so exciting. The book sold slowly at first, but within a few years, people were calling it a classic of children's literature. A classic. Now what do you think?
Oh, Arthur.
I couldn't wait to start another. After Swallows and Amazons, I wrote another 11 brat books. They were my children.
You and Evgenia never had children of your own?
No, Father.
Well, did you restore relations with Tabitha?
No, Father. It was impossible.
You're such a duffer, boy.
Yes, Father. Forgive me.
I don't think he's a duffer at all. What's the song they sing at the end of the voyage? I know. Oh, soon we'll hear the old man say, leave her, Johnny, leave her. You can go ashore and take your pay, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her like a man. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her when you can. And it's time for us to leave her.
In The Voyage of the Swallow by Eric Pringle, Arthur Ransome was played by Richard Briers, Evgenia by Susanna York, Ivy by Anne Davis, Ernest Altunian by Philip Sully, Cyril Ransom by Max Harvey, Ted Scott by Vincent Brimble, and Tabitha by Cyril Jenkins. Susan was played by Daisy Heath, Titty by Annie Rodham, Young Arthur by Nicholas Shelton, Nancy by Kate Ryan, and Roger by Simon Radford. Trotsky was played by Philip Beckwith, C.P. Scott by Michael Kilgarriff, Molly Hamilton by Adjoa Ando, Dora by Teresa Stretfield, and Young Billy by Neil Roberts. Music was by Simon Kerr, Stefan Hannigan, and Wendy Gadian. The Voyage of the Swallow was directed by Adrian Bean.